I'm still not moved, but it's not because of him. I believe in him, and I think last night's a testament to what he can bring because he'll get to the free throw line. So he's going to help a lot of ways. I just think they're too small, and I don't see them getting out of the second round of the Western Conference playoffs, Shannon.
Well, I mean, that's assuming they're getting to the playoffs. Yeah, but I agree with you, Steve. I agree with you, Stephen. I don't see it. Their ceiling is not, they're not a championship contending team. They don't have enough. Steph Curry was sensational. He's been sensational the last 3 ball games, but I don't think they have nearly enough to be serious contenders in the Western Conference.
It's not the first time that we see the media disrespecting the Warriors. It's true, they have a lot of to prove. Just 2 games with Jim Butler. We play a team, Chicago, that it's not a 500 team. Milwaukee without Giannis, but it's still like thinking and saying that we are not right now, based on what we just show in these 2 games, a playoff contender that we need to fight too much to get there. I think it's absolutely crazy because you have a Dallas Mavericks that now doesn't have Luka Doncic, lost Anthony Davis. You have other teams that will face injury as well. The Warriors are actually, let's not forget, beaten OKC, beaten Houston Rockets, teams that are playing there. We can definitely beat the Lakers. We can. So there's a lot that can happen, and I do think the Warriors are real contenders. We are right now in the 10th seed. We're going to see the standings in a bit, and I think the Warriors can get better. Just think this way, and let me in the comments what you think. Do you think that the team right now, the Warriors that we have today with Jim Butler, it's better or worse than the team that we had last season? Because last season we were, I said yesterday here, we were in the same spot, 26-26, and then we made a run where we jumped to 46 wins. And I think we can do even better this year. I think Jimmy Butler showing these 2 games that he can pair really well with Stephen Curry. I said here yesterday as well that he can bring something different to the table, which empower and makes easier Stephen Curry life. We have seen Buddy Hield recovering his shooting. No one is really talking much about it, but he shoot the last 4 games over 15 points. So we still have Jonathan Kuminga, where we're going to talk about his injury report update as well. I think the Warriors have been showing already, and we can even finish this road trip. Like, look at the road trip that we have right now. We're going to face Dallas without Anthony Davis, and then we face the Rockets in a back-to-back, but it's also a back-to-back games for the Rockets. So and we have the chance to win. We have win against them. We can do that again if we play well, if we play smart. I know against the Dallas, especially with the Gafford on the other side, there is a size problem, which Stephen A. Smith mentioned here. But we also seen Quinston Post rise. He played well last night to a certain extent. Still a rookie, he needs to develop. Kevin Looney will be becoming more part of the rotation. I like the decision of sidelining a little bit Trace Jackson. I think he was, and I mentioned in many videos here, lacking in the finishing, in the defense, and some stuff like that. So I think the Warriors are feeding right now, and we still have Jonathan Kuminga to come. We still have 2 spots that we can smartly think and bring some veterans, some G League guy to complement this roster. And with Stephen Curry playing with 30 points averaging the last 4 games, we definitely a playoff contender. I think we can definitely get in the mix. Remember, Jimmy Butler is what we call playoff Jimmy. Stephen Curry, we know when we get there to that moment, he rise up to the occasion, has done in finals, has done in many games. So if the Warriors can get themselves in the playoff, I really think we can make a stretch and we can create something. Are we title contenders? It's hard to say and probably hard to believe on that right now because we have been seeing teams like the Cavaliers, like the Boston Celtics, even the OKC at this point, that they are playing a more solid, organized basketball. But when you see teams, for example, like OKC, and we have seen so many players talk about that, when you look at teams that they are young core, teams like OKC or Houston Rockets, when it gets there to those moments, the experience that veterans like Steph, Draymond, Jimmy Butler have, it can make a difference, right? How many times we have seen LeBron taking over because of the way that he knows how to control the game and the experience of those moments against teams that they don't have it, right? So a little bit of disrespectful, in my opinion, this what Stephen A. Smith said here in this. I do think that the Warriors still have to prove 2 games is enough. It's not enough to evaluate, but it's really promising right now. So let's take a look on the standings, right? As I said, the Warriors are in the 10th seed, but you see how the mix is, it's much tighter than last year, right? So we win against the Dallas, we can take that position, we can take that spot. Sacramento is there, Minnesota, everyone is really close by. So we can't discard the Warriors right now. If we make a run with Jimmy Butler, things start getting well, we have the All-Star break, they're going to get in an even better pace and fit and understand each other. It's definitely possible. And I hope the Warriors do it because I do think when we get to the playoff, then things start changing. Then we have more time to think, and then you have a more like strategic style of play that I'm curious about. So look why also what Festus Ezeli said about the Warriors, Chris Mullin, and I agree with that.
Jimmy Butler's first 2 games have been incredible. The impact he's had on his team. Think about the stats we've always talked about. Points off turnovers has been a bugaboo for the Warriors. Tonight, 31-2.
Yep.
They dominate. They only have 9 turnovers. I thought they kept pace. We always talk about field goal attempts, right? It kind of goes with the turnovers. Plus 17 field goal attempts. They don't shoot the 3 ball, when usually if they don't shoot the 3 well, it's a struggle. Tonight, they shoot 29% from the 3, still score 125 points because they get to the free throw line. So like a great individual scorer, having balance to your attack. If your 3 ball is not going, the free throw is a huge weapon. Jimmy Butler's now taken 26 free throws in his first 2 games as a Warrior. So that slows the game in the half court. Steph Curry's seeing more single teams. He's able to be on the perimeter, just not as many double teams. And when he does throw to Jimmy Butler out of those double teams, he is attacking, either for himself to score or to create for his teammates. So these first 2 games has been dramatic difference. Exactly what you want to see from this this transition into the Jimmy Butler era. And then Steph Curry, once again, I thought he was dynamic, but he did being able to play one-on-one because of the respect the other team has for Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, the first Warrior to shoot at least 13 free throws in back-to-back games.
That's the point. And let's be real, right? Everything here, all the cards are on the table that the Warriors will keep healthy, right? If something happens to Jim Butler or Stephen Curry or Draymond Green, obviously change the whole scenario, right? So I'm not saying that if that happens, then the reality changes. But if they keep healthy, what he's bringing to the table, pay attention to what they said. Like the Warriors shoot 29% for the three-point line. And we have seen that in many games. Until now, the Warriors game was always like this. If the three-point shooting is good and we can do a close to 40%, 42% on that, we have a chance to win the game. If it wasn't working, we never won any game without it because we didn't have another strategy, another option, especially without Jonathan Kuminga that attacks more the ring as a stronger, more athletic player. It was only that, moving the ball to shoot threes, and then we didn't have free throw. The Warriors are one of the worst teams, actually the worst team in the league right now, shooting free throws. I think things will start spiking up now with Jimmy, but it was exactly that. He's bringing that difference. Look at the video that I recorded yesterday where I showed the plays and how he moves inside the three-point line and plays sometimes almost as a power forward, as a center, and what that brings, the space that creates for Stephen Curry, for Buddy Hield, and even for Quinton Post. We saw in the game last night. He was hitting those trees that actually sort of settled the game for us towards the fourth quarter. So if he keeps healthy, if he keeps like as he is the competitor and he can play, I think the Warriors are totally different team right now and a very competitive one. Look at the box score from last night, right? Again, 38 points for Stephen Curry, 34 the last game, 5 points for Jimmy Butler, 20 last night. And he helps on everything, right? You can see that he's on 4 steals. Is a big stat. He's a good defender. We said that. He has been an all-time all-star defender. Assists, rebound. So he's bringing that to the mix. He's making everyone else's lives easier, right? I said Stephen Curry, Quinton Post, Buddy Hield. He's also really favoring, for example, Brandon Porzingis, that when Stephen's not on the floor, doesn't need to play that backup point guard, which we have seen didn't work. And now you can rely the entire offense to go through Jim Butler, and you have Porzingis free to play as a shooting guard as he does better, and that's empowering him as well. So it's a lot of things on the mix. And again, I'm saying that to you, and I have no problem in assuming. I was skeptical about this trade. I said yesterday, I'm starting to see it as a less risky because in the worst case, we would be as we were before with Wiggins, with Kyle Anderson, Lynn Waters, and Dan Schroeder, right? But now we actually bringing something different, which sounds promising so far. So at the end of the day, the worst case we're gonna be at the same, right? Which was until Jim Butler 2 games ago, outside of the play, even the playing tournament. So I'm seeing better this trade right now as a better, more promising thing, and I'm excited about it. So and here is the injury update, which things for sure when Jonathan Kuminga is back is gonna be even better for us. I think Butler is gonna play a massive like coaching, guiding point for Jonathan Kuminga on how he can play, how he can change, how he can fit with Draymond Green. We haven't seen like Jim Butler is really fitting well with Draymond Green, even that he's playing as more like he's not playing as, but he's positioning himself as a power forward or center. If we can see Jonathan Kuminga doing that as well and swapping on this, it's going to be very powerful for the Warriors. So looking forward, he's going to be reevaluated after the All-Star game. It's promising. It might take a few weeks more, but when he comes back and he comes in a good shape and finding himself a rhythm of the game as well, I think the Warriors will step up even further. So it's sounding promise. That's why I think it's disrespectful from the media to count the Warriors out right now, especially because we just make trades. They're getting good impact. So with every other team, we would see them saying that they are a new face, that they are promising right now. And with the Warriors, it's always this disrespect that we see with the Warriors and with Steph. Here's the schedule. We play against the Dallas, back-to-back games against Houston, wrap the road trip and the All-Star break, and we come back to Sacramento. And then I want to highlight to that Dallas game where we actually going to stand as a home game, and it's going to retire the jersey for Andre Iguodala. So very well deserved. It's a be an important game as well. Then Charlotte and then Orlando Magic to wrap the month. So we can definitely finish strong this February, start putting ourselves in that conversation for the playoff. I think Jim Butler bringing a lot of good things for the Warriors. I want to know what you think. Do you like so far? Do you think that we can win at least one of these 2 games back to back, maybe 2? What is your opinion about that? I see you tomorrow, and bye.